let's call this meeting to order. Hubbardston Select Board, March 2nd, 2026. It is, what time is it? 6:33. We'll call this meeting to order. And first up, we have open meeting. Is anyone here for open session? No? All right, I'm going to, public press? No? Okay. All right, I'm going to do announcements. So on March 11th at 6:30, in this room, I believe, the Agricultural Commission is having a farmer's workshop all about biochar and how it is good for your gardens and even for your houseplants. To learn all about biochar, you can come here again. That is March 11th at 6:30 here in this room, and it runs to about 8:30, I think they said. So if you want to learn about biochar, feel free to come. Just to inform everyone that hasn't gotten their bill, the excise tax is due on March 16th. Nobody ever wants to pay, but you got it. So make sure that's in so you don't accrue any late fees. On April 18th, we have Keep Hubbardston Beautiful. The Girl Scouts are having a bottle and can drive, along with, we will have bags there at the town rec field. You can grab, or you can use your own trash bags to pick up trash. We will be collecting it between 8 and noon. Pick up all those nasty nips everyone decides to throw out their window, even though they're not supposed to be doing that while they're driving, but that's what happens. And pick up all the nasty nips and cans and gross McDonald's wrappers that have floating around town, and let's keep our town looking lovely. Again, that is April 18th at the rec field from 8 till noon. And then I am taking applications for the Hubbardston Fair. The Hubbardston Fair this year will be on June 6th from 9 to 2 with a rain date of the 7th. And that's all I have for announcements. Does anybody else have any announcements of things coming up? No? All right, let's go on to some new business. Are we doing just the swearing in next?
Yes, we're gonna take the swearing in of our new police officer, Zachary Wright. He's on patrol, so we gotta get him out there and get those people throwing the nips out of the window.
Yes, get all those little dirt bags up.
Mama.
But I'm gonna turn it over to
Mama.
Chief Teacher, and
Mama.
we'll proceed with the swearing in of Melody Green.
All right, so this is Zachary Wright, our newest officer. I introduced him previously on our Facebook page for everybody to be on the lookout for him and say hi to him when they came across him. Law enforcement has evolved quite a bit over the last few years, I would say very significantly. It's a very honorable profession, but it's dangerous at times, and it can be very rewarding. So we have the pleasure of serving our community, and our community here supports us above all. So, Police Academy is very hard work, physically demanding, mentally demanding, and puts stress on the recruits, their family members. Zach completed his academy at the end of January. It was almost 6 months of training, a lot of hard work, determination to complete that, support of his family behind him to get through all of it. Officer Wright's in his 3rd week now of field training. Sergeant Blood is his FCO. And he's also fulfilling his commitment to the Army National Guard. He did a week of training last week. So thank you for your service, Zach, and thank you for your service to the town of Hubbardston. Welcome.
You're doing a good job.
All right.
Have Mel Green come up and do a ceremonial oath of office.
Nice.
Stand where we can take pictures.
Yeah. Get in front of the.
Hold on. We'll move
By we mean you.
Yeah, when we say we, I
Yeah.
mean me.
So
It's okay, just go right there, yeah, we'll
There you
get
go.
the chief in the back.
Do you solemnly swear that you will faithfully and impartially perform all your duties according to your best skill and judgment for the ensuing term imposed upon you by your appointment as a police officer for the town of Hubbardston according to the laws of the Commonwealth?
I do.
Thank you.
You clap. You guys are all family? Friends? You guys want, your fiance? Yeah. You guys want to do a
Yeah, they all want
picture?
pictures.
Come on, we gotta do a nice picture. I know, it's like you're like, I was not planning on this.
Go in front of the town.
Yeah,
Dressed appropriately.
You're fine.
well, at least over here with Chief. Yeah,
Do one of those.
okay, all right.
Hold on.
Okay. Stand right in front.
I couldn't go that way.
There we go, very nice. Yes, like shake his hand or something, be like,
All right.
thumbs up, dude, something. All right,
Did you get that one?
yeah.
All right.
You guys want all one together? No, we're good?
I'll shake it.
Okay, there we go.
How you doing?
Peter being a good man, there we go, very nice, very nice. Anybody else?
I'll do one more.
Okay, all right. We'll have a whole crew, it's be good stuff. There we go, nice. All right, come on, this is a big thing.
I'll do one of them.
I'm afraid. Very nice, thank you. All
Excellent.
right, we good?
Kate, do you want one with?
No, I'm good.
All right.
I'm getting enough pictures.
Zach, I drive a white Silverado, but
Yes,
I'll give you the plate number.
yes.
all right. Thanks, son.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Nicely done.
Yes.
Excellent.
Thank you for coming aboard, and I hope that you are treated as well as the rest of our police officers in town by our residents.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm a veteran also.
Melody, thank you. Thanks, Sergeant Blood.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Zach.
Stay safe.
Back to work.
Yeah,
Told you so.
yeah. Ah, goodness.
We're gonna have them keep them occupied, we'll go have a 45.
Sarge, crack the whip now.
All right, Mel, I'll send you some of these pictures you can post tomorrow,
Thanks, sir.
okay?
We'll see you
I'm
around.
just gonna tell you that.
This is a tall drink of water, huh?
Z-A-K-A-R-Y.
Gonna hire some shorter ones.
Z-A-K-A.
No, I like big dudes. He's a big
Oh, no
boy.
C, no C.
He's in good shape too.
I didn't write it, but I'll.
No, I
fix
know,
it.
I'm just.
We'll
Okay.
see.
I appreciate
Once the
it.
donuts take hold.
No one.
All right, thank you.
My minutes, except you.
Once the shift work and the bad food takes over, we'll see.
This on my calendar. I don't know.
He probably makes his own meals.
All right,
If he was smart, he would make his own meal.
all right, we ready to get back to business, peeps?
Before you head out.
Miss
Yes,
ma'am?
ma'am.
Okay. All right, so, an update on the Williamsville Road DOT Bridge Project. Again, Mr. Kuchar. Chief.
Not out of the hot seat yet?
No, you're still up, buddy.
All right, so the closure starts tomorrow. I wanted to just give you guys an overview of the project, just some issues that we're anticipating, and what we're gonna kind of do to mitigate those problems
Okay.
as best we can. So this is just an overlay of the project from Mass DOT. This is Burnshirt Road up here, the road closure is here. The bridge is down here. That's another one of their overlays, and then this is the actual river and the bridge project. So this bridge project, a lot of bridge projects that we've had in the past, they'll do half of the road and they'll leave half open. Because of the river and the way it comes through there, they can't do it that way. They have to do, they're gonna divert the river to one side, and they're gonna pour concrete and set in some precast stuff. It's gonna make the project a lot longer, I think, because they're going to have to wait until concrete sets, and they have to test it for strength and all kinds of things that they need to do. So this road will be totally closed, it will not be passable. And like I said, it starts tomorrow, that's when the closure starts. I don't know when it'll be fully ripped up, but it'll be blocked off starting tomorrow.
To go down cruise.
Correct. So this is the other end of the closure. So here's the closure. Here's the bridge. The road will be closed here on Burnshirt. It will also be closed at Cruz. There are signs up now. Buses have been notified, so they're adjusting. I think they're sending a van to pick up the kids that are in that area. to bring them to school instead of having a bus try to turn around. This green area here, this is Selfridge Road, it's a dead end. Cruise Road, Thompson Road, this is Root Road right here. So this will be the detour route. It's very narrow, obviously. Thompson Road and Cruise Road are not designed for heavy flows of traffic. And I think Williamsville is used quite a bit as a direct route to get to Barry and Templeton by a lot of residents. Hoping that with as long as they know that this is here, that they'll avoid the area. There's a lot of pedestrians that use Cruise Road, walking their animals. I believe there's a horse farm, and I did see a post, I think on Hubbardston People about horses having the right of way. You know, I would just remind the public that, yes, as a pedestrian or someone on a horse or a bicycle, you do have the right of way, but you also need to be aware of what's going on around you. Because, you know, at the end of the day, we don't want anybody to get hit, whether they have the right of way or not. You know, right? So wear bright colors, use caution. There'll be an increased traffic. We will increase police patrols. Several times a day, I will have my officers driving through there, running radar, trying to slow people down, and we'll just, we'll educate people as best we can. The speed limit is posted at 30 for the detour. It will be strictly enforced. Like I said, we will be educating people on the speed limit and safe use of Thompson Road and Cruise Road. DPW did widen the road before this last storm. I did not get a chance to get up there today to see what they were able to push back. I will drive through there tomorrow, and then if there's an issue, I'll notify Travis to see if he can get up there and push anything back further. My concern is Sawyer's Farm and Perner Logging. So Perner Logging is in the closure, but they go to Barry a lot.
Yep.
So they are going to need to go around and use Cruise Road and Thompson Road. So we're going to have large logging trucks, large vehicles from Sawyer's, and then this closure is going to be delayed, detoured for a significant amount of time. 14 to 18 months is what I was told.
Do you, no, did the DOT do a traffic count on that street for daily traffic? Car count?
I looked for it and I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember a select board meeting when Mel Shaughnessy came in and she was concerned about this detour.
Yes.
That was probably a year and a half, 2 years
Yeah,
ago.
I remember that, yeah.
I can't remember traffic counters on that road. They usually run that tube across.
Yeah, I was just curious if we had a count. at
But
one
I
time.
didn't get one.
Okay.
I didn't get a report of it, and I was looking for one for this, and I couldn't find it, so I'm not sure.
So you think it's gonna be through next summer as well?
It is absolutely gonna be through next.
14
All right,
to 18.
Can you get with Mel tomorrow and ask for this information about the detour, and also to reiterate to people walking and horses and things, like do up a statement and have Mel send it out by email to residents to make sure everyone's aware, because Facebook is great,
Yep.
and I saw you posted it, but if we can double down and do it again on all the different
I'll do it
social
through
medias
her,
and
I'll
emails
also
as well.
contact dispatch.
Okay.
And send the reverse
A call, yeah.
call,
And with a recommendation that
just for, for that area.
Mm-hmm.
if pedestrians wear high-vis clothing.
Yeah, just, like I said, I understand pedestrians have the right of way, we all do.
Yes, but that road is super curvy and very windy, and you can come up upon something and not even see it until you're on it.
Right. Yeah, so I don't anticipate an issue with emergency response to the area. It's not a long detour we need to get there, but having my officers up there patrolling, we're going to have delayed response time when they're up there to the other parts of town. If they're up there, and they have to
Yep.
go to the other end of the town, it's gonna be somewhat of a delayed response. But in general, I don't anticipate an issue.
Okay.
Yeah, response times, moving large vehicles from town. So again, it starts tomorrow, and then it's on the books, I think, for like till 2027 is what it said. What that means in terms
Yeah.
of when the road might be open, we talked to the construction company and they said it will be closed through next summer, no question. So they're thinking August, I think, of 2027.
Yeah, because that tracks with how long
Yeah, August of 2027, somewhere.
Worcester
around there.
Road took,
Right.
you know, to do those bridges. That
Yeah,
was
so
closed
that's
for,
almost a year and a half.
yeah.
So I mean, I think the river makes it challenging,
Mhm.
and them having to divert that. It's-
Yeah.
It's not gonna be an easy project, but
No, but it needs to get done because that bridge is,
it does.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be too much of a shock to people that this has
No.
come up, but, you know, people forget too. Like I said, we're a year and a half or 2 years ago, we were in here we were talking about this closure, what effects it was going to have, and then now all of a sudden, here we are, it's upon us.
Yeah.
And
Are there any details for this job? One on each
They're
end?
hiring a detail every day.
One detail? Two?
There's multiple details, but.
For that one job?
For that job. The first couple days, they're hiring a detail officer to be in a cruiser 24/7.
Yeah. All right,
To be in the closure, assisting residents if need be.
yeah. Okay, thank you.
So,
Chief, did we also notify Templeton and Barry so that they can alert their residents as well?
I didn't, but I can
Okay,
push something out.
okay.
I'll push something out to Barry, but I'll also, dispatch has the ability to do it with them. I'll contact the Templeton chief tomorrow.
just to let them know.
Just so they know, but it should be pretty well known that this is gonna happen.
All right. Do we have any other questions on this?
Yeah,
Chris?
I got a couple of logistic questions. How far is the bridge from the detour?
On Cruise Road?
No, yeah. How long from that detour to the actual project, and any idea how many residents
That
are
I
on that
don't,
stretch?
I don't have that info, and I'd guess about a mile.
Really?
Yeah, it's a
It's
bit.
at the bottom of the
decent-
hill, right?
yeah, it's all the way at the bottom.
Yeah, so you gotta go up a hill, travel, then down the
Yeah.
hill.
Coming
so-
from Burnshire is not that far. It's like
Right.
right there, and there's,
Yeah, there's
Like,
nothing,
yeah.
from the Burns Church side down. Those houses are all up on the corner of
Yeah.
Burns Church. But there are several houses in between Cruise and,
yeah, there's lots of
And then-
farms and stuff. There's gotta be a good, I'd say 18 to 20, easy, houses in that area.
So are you suggesting that residents don't walk that mile or take their horses down that mile? I think.
it's Cruise Road and Thompson Road that I'm more worried about.
Right.
Just because they're just
Yeah.
already narrow roads, and we're adding traffic and we're adding large vehicles when
Right.
they weren't getting a lot. And we have had some traffic like that go through there, but this is definitely going to increase that. I'd imagine that there's going to be probably some traffic from the Country Hen goes out that way as well. I think most of it comes through the center of town here, but
Yeah.
there's the possibility of that.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, so the last time they had
Gotta
that
do it,
kind of
right?
detour was when I was a kid, when they worked on the bridge that was on Burnshire. They closed that way down, so
Yeah,
you had to
that
go.
one, the Burnshire one was a half closure,
Yeah.
so you could get through still.
I don't know, my aunt lives down on the other side, so we had to go down Cruise and Thompson, because it was just apparently easier, I don't know.
It was
just-
probably easier at the time.
Yeah,
Horse and buggy back then, too.
yeah,
It seems like it. I mean, that's what these roads are designed for. At the end of the day,
Yeah.
that's what these roads are
Yeah.
designed for, horse and buggy. And then we
Yeah.
paved them,
yeah,
and we expect people to use them for modern use.
yeah.
It's-
And Riggs, not so much.
No.
Those, especially Thompson. Thompson it's got some narrow spots.
So my hope is that we get enough notice out people avoid the area if they can.
Mhm.
And then the patrols will try to take care of the rest. But we can only be up there certain times, and I can't leave a guy up there the whole shift. So they're gonna be in and out. They'll try to slow people down, they'll try to educate.
So how many days in the beginning do they have people posted there?
The first couple days, they
That'll
have.
be for sure.
It'll be 24/7, there'll be a
Okay.
cruiser up there in the closure.
Okay,
So that should alleviate a lot of first
yeah.
couple day
The
issues.
initial, bless you.
Bless
Bless you, John.
Excuse me, thank you.
And the project is paying for the details?
Yes, and the cruiser.
And the
I confirmed that today because I was concerned that we have a cruiser up there idling for 24 hours a day for a couple days.
Yeah,
There's some
gas.
wear and tear there.
Mm.
And is that gonna be local folks doing that, or do you have to outsource for that?
It's all, I believe they were filled all by Hubbardston police officers.
Oh, wow, great. That's awesome.
Big money.
It's a lot of money when they gotta pay overtime. but
Mm.
That's how they make their money.
All right. Good. Very good.
Anything else?
Any other questions?
I was just gonna say thank you, Chief, for putting this together. I know I reached out to Sean, I think, last week, and I had a resident approach me, and they're like, "What's closing? When's it closing? Now what?"
Like I said, people forget, it's been a year and a half
Yeah.
or 2 years and.
Yeah, because like even the National Grid poll stuff was a while ago
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
do that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
it's like a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so just,
We black these things out.
Yeah, I know. It's like, it's just moving along on its own. It's just doing its thing.
But this presentation was lovely, and hopefully we'll hear feedback from people being able to watch it and get the information out, and, if it's helpful moving forward, then maybe this is a trend we add when we do some of these projects moving.
yeah, if we have major closures, we should definitely probably survey the detour route a little bit better. I feel like we were a little bit short-sighted in that aspect, because when you take a look at Cruz and Thompson Road, they're just not designed for that kind of
No,
traffic.
at least they were paved though. So
Yes,
that's
yeah.
at least better because they were ridiculous.
So at our next meeting, Chief, would you be able to either stop in or just communicate through Sean and just let us know how the first couple weeks have gone, and if there's
Sure.
any more issues or if everything's going smoothly?
Yep. Yeah, I can get the information together and have it for the next meeting.
Not that we don't love having you here, but, if Sean's already
Great.
gonna
I
be
mean,
here, he can communicate
yeah.
on your behalf.
One of the things that the chief and I discussed was, how the traffic patterns are going to evolve over the first few days. And so we will see, some traffic patterns that will change, and the enforcement activities are going to have to adjust and really ensure that, different times of day, we have different strategies. I think some of the folks traveling at night might find it to be quite surprising if we don't,
Have some kind of
the right
lights or something.
strategies. And again, I think the chief knows, when you, it's like water, when you shut one spigot off, it goes somewhere. And we'll see what happens, and certainly respond to that.
Is there any signage at the beginning of Williamsville
I don't know, but there is signage
to
at
warn
Cruz
people
Road.
that it's
There's-
closed?
There's, I believe, a sign on either side, and they're putting barrels across as well. I think enough so people can get through, but,
Yeah, but where it's blocked off.
right.
What about at the beginning of
Early
Williamsville?
warning,
Just
I-
giving people a heads up that,
I don't think they put anything at the beginning. They may have put it, if they did, then it's probably closer to
Cruz,
Hail.
Hale Road area.
Hill, okay.
But they don't like to put signs
That
too
far
far
away?
because it's really an early warning device.
Yeah.
And then by the time the motorist gets through a certain area, they forget
Like
about the early warning, or
Yeah.
they just don't see it.
Yeah.
And then they come up on this and they're like,
Yeah, where the hell am I
Well,
going?
I think that probably, they gotta measure it anyways and put the sign, everything's measured, so.
Yeah,
It's done by an engineer. Engineer tells you where to put your warning signs and everything, so.
right.
Okay, excellent, thank you.
So like I said, we'll be up there. I'm not gonna tip my hat on when we'll be up there, but we'll be up there and then we'll be adjusting
Okay.
once we figure out what's going on.
Maybe we could take a ride up there tomorrow,
Very good.
Yeah.
on the way to,
Yeah, we can take the long way.
yeah.
Super long way. Backtracking.
Chief, thank you.
Okay, yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Nicely done.
All right. Moving forward, Next thing on is the finance update, and we have a review of quotes for financial services.
We do. We continue to work to reconcile Hubbardston's financials. As I mentioned previously, the town is, it's in a unique position. It has no long-term debt. The town's got some really good fundamentals, but Marsha Bohank, who was hired by the board back in December of 25, has completed the closeout of FY 25. And she continues to work on some reconciliations. There are a lot of activity issues that have led to things that have been incorrectly posted. Unfortunately, these things happen among many communities. A lot of it is just making sure that we're following the DOR, Department of Revenue, chart of accounts, and making sure that things get closed out correctly. There has been a lot of work, though. As we mentioned, or as we have discussed earlier, we're going out. We went out last week to, bless you, submit requests for quotes. I reached out to Eric Kinchef and Aponte, both, and asked them to respond to a bidding sheet for additional phases of the financial reconciliations. We really broke it out into phase 1 through 4 and phase 5. We had one responsive bidder, and that was Marsha Bohank. I did hear back from both of the other companies. They expressed interest in working for the town, but they really didn't give us the numbers that we were looking for the phase of work that we're looking to accomplish. So Marsha's response in the pricing sheet was similar to her hourly rate for the first phase, which is $100 an hour. She estimated 180 hours for this reconciliation at $1,800 or $18,000. Phase 5, she did an hourly rate of $75 for a total cost of $14,625 for a grand total for phases 1 to 5 of $32,625. It's my recommendation that we continue on to reconcile and address the fiduciary responsibilities with closing out our fiscal years correctly and working with DOR and just helping the town straighten out the books. I think this will put the town in a really good position in just a few more weeks to really get an update and then have a conversation as a board about what's the right fit for a town like Hubbardston in terms of that accounting function. Should we have a company provide that level of due diligence and financial services, or should we look to a part-time or full-time person to do that? I certainly have some thoughts about that, but I wanted to take some time and get these books reconciled and circle back around and have that conversation with the board, because that's a big policy discussion and something I think the board really should evaluate carefully.
Mm-hmm. So these hours, will this bring us up to date?
This will. This
Phasing.
scope of work will help reconcile
Okay.
the FY26 budget. We're really going to get into FY26 this week and give us that year-to-date analysis so we can, in the next few weeks, have a conversation about where are we in FY26 and how are we building the FY27 budget based on actuals that we can actually trust.
Does Marcia think the phases 1 through 4 will get us through it, and like phase 5 is like just keeping us on par, or does she think she's going to run into phase 5
So,
doing the?
so phase 5 was something we had, Sean had added at the end because since we believe Mary will likely leave around the end of April,
Yeah.
This actually would have Marcia phase in from doing the consulting work essentially to doing our accounting work as Mary stepped down.
Okay.
So this would transition us to get us through the rest of the fiscal year, and we don't have to talk accounting ever again.
Well, not ever again, but,
For FY '26.
Okay.
But this will get us from, soup to nuts essentially. I think in what Sean was saying as well with Aponte and Eric Kinship, I think I think they're interested. I don't know what's going on. I think they're interested in potentially having a relationship with the town long-term to fill that accounting service vibe. I think they had less interest in doing the stopgap measure that we're essentially been doing since the fall.
The fixing.
The fixing and
Okay.
getting us where, the problem is, Marcia's already been able to deep dive in, so she knows where the issues are, she knows where she's going. If you changed anyway, you'd be looking at, 20 plus hours just for someone to figure out where the numbers are. So this just keeps us on that consistent path.
Okay, so this will get us
So this will get us till July, is that what you're basically saying? Phase
That's-
5?
Yes.
Till July,
well, yeah, the beginning
yeah,
of the fiscal year,
Thank you.
through this
Yeah,
fiscal
thank you.
year.
through this fiscal year,
Yeah.
correct.
Do you need a motion to that effect, Sean?
I do. If a board member is willing to accept the recommendation of the interim town administrator to award a scope of work to Marcia Bohank as presented in the March 2nd response from Ms. Bohank. I think that would be.
So moved.
Yeah, I'm chair, somebody has to
So
do it.
moved.
All right, can I have a second?
Second.
All right, can I hear all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstained? All right, all good. We're gonna move on now, so thank you to Marcia for
Yeah,
getting us up, and thank you, Sean.
This is pretty.
And
very
Heather for
positive.
doing all this.
Very positive.
Yes, we're moving forward in a good direction. All right, so we have some old business.
Stop paying some bills.
Yeah, shh. We have old business, we have some personnel updates and appointments, executive assistant. So we're still plugging along with interviewing. I had 2 more interviews this week. I'm working on a 3rd, and Peter's going to do a 2nd round for all of those. If we can get them scheduled, which I will be working on getting them scheduled ASAP for Peter and Mel to do round 2. We have some very promising outlooks on some people, and we will come back hopefully in 2 weeks with a recommendation. I'm hopeful, I'm very hopeful that we can have somebody moving forward very soon. So that's all I got for that. Peter has nothing because he hasn't made any appointments for you yet. I'm sorry, Peter.
It's all right.
All right, so any questions on that? No? Okay. Moving forward, we have the Sean's administrator town report here. I said that in the wrong
That's all right.
direction, but it's all the same thing.
So I just first want to bring to the board's attention, I probably should have mentioned it under new business, but, the Concom Planning Board have looked at 14 Prentice Hill Road under chapter land, 61A, and they have recommended the town not acquire this parcel. We do have a report, and at our next meeting, we'll have a little bit more information on the merits of why the town has decided, or the town land use boards have decided to recommend that we not, exercise the town's right of first refusal for properties that have been put in protection under Chapter 61A. Essentially, these properties pay less, substantially less in property taxes, and when they come out, they have to pay back the back taxes, and they go back on the town's property tax roll. And I think there wasn't really a strong town need that was going to be met or serviced by acquiring this parcel.
Is it a parcel that's for sale? Is that?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, the parcel is being proposed to be sold to a family member, and I think, certainly at our next board meeting, we'll hear more about the
Okay.
details of that.
All right,
I'll
thank you.
send off a packet of information along with the map and lot, and we'll have another conversation about this. I just wanted to bring that to the board's attention. It's coming down the pipe. As we said, we're working to reconcile a number of challenges the town is facing financially. Last week, we had a department head meeting, and Marcia Bohank attended the meeting. We went over a standardized submittal form for all expenditures. Every single department had a different submittal form. They had different ways and methods. That caused confusion and certainly an inconsistency with how we reconcile the town's financials. We standardized that. We had a good conversation about, a lot of the important fiduciary responsibilities under the Massachusetts general law that we have to follow. It's not a question of folks having different ideas about certain things. It's just we have to do it the right way. I did talk to the department heads about the FY27 budget. We talked about our zero-based budget methodology. Over the next 2 weeks, I'll be meeting with all the department heads in great detail, just going through that, developing more detail, more transparency, helping departments really develop budgets that support their core mission. I know we have a small town and we have small departments, but every department needs to have training. Every department has to have certain core functions, and any contracts, any collective bargaining cost of contract that is tied to another agreement needs to be spelled out in a budget so that people can see and understand. Body cameras are a multi-year contract, or certain financial obligations the town has in contracts are detailed in the budget. I really want to thank the chief and his department for the work they have been doing and will be doing on the Williamsville Road Bridge project. Travis and the DPW are also involved in that, as the chief mentioned earlier. This is something that we'll monitor very carefully over the next few days to weeks. Katie, I want to thank you and Peter for the interviews for the vacancies in town. That's a lot of work, and really appreciate the time and effort you're putting into that. These are important positions, and certainly they do take time. I've mentioned I did have somebody reach out to me from the Central Mass Regional Planning Commission about a shared HR function between Hubbardston and Rutland. Due to the snowstorm, we weren't able to connect, but I will be following up with that opportunity this week, and certainly something that I'll share with the board before any decisions are made. There's a lot to evaluate, but having a focus on human resources is certainly something I think the town really needs to develop. I have met with Leanne Moses and Steve Boucher to discuss chapter land, as I mentioned earlier. We have over $1 million in back taxes in properties in Hubbardston. That's a lot. And when we think about land, it's so important that we don't just keep adding to that list. The board should have a meeting annually with some of the land use boards and just go over some of these chapter properties and land use, and just get a sense of, how does the master plan really support a strategic use of some of the properties? How are the other properties enhanced if we're able to cobble them together?
Do you want questions at the end, or can I ask?
No, you can fire off right now.
All right. So, on the properties that we're holding for $1 million, I mean, how old are some of these properties have been on the tax rolls?
Long time.
Long time. What's it, 20 years?
Could be. I don't know. I'd have to
Okay.
get I'd have to go back to the collector's deed and get a list. We can put that into a spreadsheet.
So if you put a dollar figure on what we've lost over taxable income on property taxes for the last, say if something's been on for 20 years, we've lost not only what's previously owed, but what's accrued during the time.
That's
Had we spent the 5,000 to get rid of that property, we'd be...
We only put $1,000 in the budget, so you don't have enough money in the budget to,
No, I understand
Really?
that, but
yeah,
you can't keep taking on these properties. I mean,
you have to.
I understand that, but you gotta get rid of some too.
That's right. That's what I'm getting at. If you don't want them, put them out to RFP. Divest yourself of these obligations and try to figure out if any of the properties are valuable to the town. But certainly, meeting annually with a land use board summit and just having your planning board, conservation commission, select board meet and review properties that are in 61A and in tax title, I think would be a good exercise.
So we don't have it, tax title, we don't have any current that we've taken tax title, correct? On the rolls that we've already taken?
I don't have the list. I looked at a few of them and I've asked to have a report. And when I get that, I will submit it to the board. And that can be the beginning of I think hopefully an eventful conversation about how
Okay.
we manage those responsibilities.
Yeah, that's too much to be holding.
Certainly is. But to me, it's another opportunity. Yes, it's frustrating, but you know,
Yeah, but it is what it is at this
Yeah.
point. I mean, you can't cry about it, we need to move forward with it.
that's right.
All right, thank you.
I had the pleasure of joining Peter in a regional dispatch meeting 2 weeks ago. Peter, did you want to give that update or?
You can give the update, I'm just,
It might be nicer if you gave it rather than Peter.
Yeah,
I'm
you know what?
thinking,
There has been a pretty active conversation about the Central Mass Regional Planning 911 District moving from 5 communities to 11. Regional services is certainly core to helping to make smaller municipalities that much more effective, but certainly you have to look at this closely. You have to study the costs associated with the proposal. Right now, it's projected, the Regional 911 District 5 is projected to grow to over 4 million as communities run from 5 to 11. I am a little bit concerned about the lack of cost projections. I have asked for some additional detailed information about the full-time staff, how many they currently have, how many have they had over the last 10 years, how has it grown, what are the calls per community, where are they growing, where are they staying flat. There's a lot here and this is moving pretty quickly. I think we really need to really get the details and think about financially all the obligations the town has. I've met with the chief, both chiefs actually, recently, and we've gone over the Central Mass Regional Planning District's budget. And while it's a valuable regional service, we've got significant concerns about, long-term, how we meet all of the public safety responsibilities. I do think it's worth exploring. I think it's important to kind of understand of the additional communities coming on, how much are they paying currently? And how much are we paying currently? And how much are we all going to be paying once the district is fully operational? I think it will be interesting to compare.
because they sold us a bill of goods when we took on Warren, that our town was going to drop in price. It did for 1 year, and then it was higher the following year than what we were originally paying. So I don't want to get sold that same line and say your prices will decrease if we add these because the price will be spread across, because I've already heard that song and dance and I call bullshit on it. Very matter of fact.
Yeah, I do think, I think there's an opportunity here to get some numbers and just get clarity with, the actuals. This regional 911 district is actually a department of the town of Rutland's, annual budget. So they have to have an audited budget. We can get those actuals and we can see, how is it growing? How is it being managed? How are we really set to really manage the important responsibility of dispatching? It has grown in terms of its function, but I think the chief does have some perspectives on it. If the board is interested, you could hear those, or we can wait.
I would love to hear the chief's 2 cents on this.
Well,
Just keep in mind, it's already 7:18, chief, so
I'll
at
be
10
very
o'clock, we're
quick.
cutting you off.
Yeah.
I think that it's very important that things slow down a little bit and that there's a good hard look into what it costs to acquire a town, because it's a cost. And moving forward, what is the structure of the district gonna look like? And if there's a lot of positions at the top that get created because of adding all of these communities, I struggle to see how it's going to be financially
Cost effective.
cost effective, right?
Yeah, too much
So
management.
I have some concerns. I think they're very excited about adding towns and moving in this direction, and I think they're moving a little bit fast when it comes to that. So it needs some scrutiny. And we need to find out what are the actual numbers. What are the there's towns that probably have a significant call volume. What's that going to look like? Because they run their own dispatch center now, because they probably need their own dispatch center. But the state is moving towards regionalization, so they're going to create these regional districts for dispatching, but at what cost, really? So those are really my concerns.
Would it be better for them to just get what we're doing and they do their own 5 towns? Like, not it, your problem.
We would be, if we weren't part of that,
Yeah, I know.
we would need to be part of something else.
Yeah,
I mean, certainly, maybe there's opportunity to do that. I'm not saying that we should or shouldn't, really. I don't have all the information to make a recommendation, but I don't necessarily like the direction that it's heading.
okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna echo, I don't have the information to make a recommendation one way or another either. I do just wanna raise a red flag here. This is financially, a large cost in a small town budget. And it looks like it's gonna grow significantly. And I don't know how the pro-rated costs are gonna be shifted among the communities. If I had a clearer sense of that, I think I wouldn't be as anxious. There may be some opportunities here to drive some efficiency. Typically, when you have a regional service, you see more efficiencies. I was stunned to see how many costs were being advanced. And typically with incentive funding for dispatching, it's 1, 2, or 3 years, and then you get hit with the full freight. And we want to know long-term, we're not going to be putting more pressure on the town's functions, public safety functions, because we're actually being put into a really burdensome regional organization.
I might be able to shed a little light. So they're under the gun because they're trying to get off of Rutland's payroll and everything else and be their own entity coming July. Now, I've already been told the 5 existing towns already are going to take a hit because the 5 towns basically have to carry everything's, now we're going to, they're separating from Rutland, so we're gonna need a space, or either that, we're gonna have to start renting the space in Rutland. I just went over some numbers today. I looked at some raises that were given out recently. I wasn't very happy with a couple of employees of the district. One of them was 16.1% raise, and the other one was about 6.2. I was shocked.
Let me guess.
I am on the board of directors. I am the co-chair. Just got appointed as co-chair at the last meeting. We only meet once a month. I'm nervous now that I'm looking at these numbers, because, you know, it's already been said that the 5 towns are gonna take a hit right in the beginning, because we have to carry it for 2 years till these other towns can get out of their contracts to come aboard with Rutland Regional. So I'm a little concerned. I think it's moving too quick. I think they should have taken, and it's been going on for about a year, but I think it should have probably been a 2-year plan, not a 1-year plan to get this going. I keep hearing numbers, the state this, the state that, but you can't guarantee anything from the state, as far as I'm concerned.
Have you guys met with State 911? Have they come in?
They have not, I have not seen them since the original spiel, and they were at the last meeting when the other 6 towns were all there.
From my experience, they've been really good about coming out to
Yeah.
meetings when you want them or answering phone
Yeah.
calls. So that might not be a bad idea for you guys to have them come out, or even you and Sean to have them come explain to
Yeah.
you guys what's going on to keep everyone else
Well-
advised, or just to the whole board of directors for the regional dispatch to make sure you can answer those questions, because I know sometimes someone will give an answer, but you don't have the backup for it, so.
The state has, look, they have, I think it's a $12 million appropriation annually for some of these regional dispatch centers. And so it's a, you know, they are financially incentivizing municipalities
They are.
to create regional services. It's just that long-term commitment, you know, and I think we need the finance team that's part of the regional dispatch to really pull these numbers together and help us get the blood pressure medication that would help support a conversation with all of the various boards of selectmen, so that we don't see this as something that's going to really come in and place incredible financial pressure on an already strained budget process for not just Hubbardston, but many of these communities. This isn't just our concern. These are concerns that are shared by many.
So the 5 towns that we have currently, it's Hubbardston, Berry, Oakham, Rutland, and Warren, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, what are the towns being added?
I'd have to look. them
Isn't there
up.
11?
Auburn, Charlton, Spencer, Oxford.
Yeah, and then there's one more. Milbury? No, Charlton? Charlton?
Charlton.
All right,
And
so
then
what are they?
Southbridge was one that they were looking at.
They're teetering, they
However,
can't, they haven't.
that didn't end up going.
This is like a really broad, like, swath.
Yeah, so typically, you know, councils of government or regional services, they
Like,
work better
kind of
if they're
circle.
tight.
This is very, yeah, because like Charlton, like that's, out, like
all
even
southern
Warren
Mass.
from here is out there.
It is, it's an
You
hour
know.
away.
As far as the dispatching operations go, they could be anywhere in the
Anywhere, they could be out of state, it doesn't, right.
So, but as a, you know, for towns, like Sean said, it works better when they're closer, because you have more abilities to meet and control what's going on.
Yeah.
I think there's
Instead
a
of-
lot of, we have a lot of, I think, I have a lot of questions, I know you all have a lot of questions that should probably have already been answered at some point that haven't been. So,
Yeah, so that's, I mean, I have concerns, you know, even on the board of directors, I mean, after seeing the numbers I saw today. And the grant money they get every year has not gone up in 4 years.
Ugh. From the state?
Yeah,
Or
about
federal?
560,000 a year, 564, 569, has not gone up.
Is it gonna go up if we get all
Well,
these
I
extra
mean, I
towns?
keep hearing things, but, you know, hearing and
Seeing.
actually
Yeah,
seeing
I
is two
think there'll
different
be
things.
some some state 911 money allocated. I think they do want to see these things before.
Yeah.
The question is long-term.
Right.
What's the financial, you know, assumptions that we can trust? You know,
Yeah.
are they, you know, what are the FTEs? How are they going to balance? How are they going to, you know, balance the costs? You know, typically when you have more people paying for something, it's less, but not in this situation. It doesn't look like, you know, this looks like it's going to grow. We're going to see, you know, layers of additional administrative costs, and those cost savings are going to get eaten up by, you know, some capital budgets that are part of a new build facility, new technology, equipment, all those things. You're going to have some cost to it, but there's a lot here that, you know, we'll have to absorb.
But I think it would be worthwhile to reach out to the state 911 and have them come out to a meeting, whether again it's you and Sean or the whole district. To be able to answer those questions, that way you're not getting secondhand information, and you can ask, okay, explain to us 3 different types of grants, you know, the incentivized grant, the training grant, and then, you know, the capital grant. How do these each work? What's the numbers on each? Which ones are automatically calculated? Which ones do I have to apply for each year based on what project I'm doing? And from their perspective, how do we neutralize the cost?
Great suggestion.
Peter's right
I
with that.
personally think that they should have hired a company to kind of manage this transition, or a professional company. There's got to be a company out there that does business models for, I mean, this is basically starting a new business is what we're doing, right? I mean, there's got to be companies out there that can set up a business model, and this is got to happen, this, and this guy. I'm not seeing it yet because it's being done internal.
So keep in mind, so one thing some towns do, and a weird one, is South Hadley,
Yeah.
right? So South Hadley has fire districts
Yeah,
and water districts, which are different because they can tax for them and everything else.
Right.
But they operate, you know, relatively independently. But then they pay like the treasurer collector a stipend to be their treasurer collector, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they're not going out hiring all brand new people
no,
for
I
these functions.
understand that.
And the other model you think of in your head is municipalities, and I believe Rutland has at least, you know, the MS4, if not others, they have enterprise funds, right? They're used to saying, okay, we need to separate all of the costs for that and figure out how much of the town's time we're using. You know, we use 5 hours a week of the accountant's time, calculate that annually, that's, let's say $5,000, okay? So we get indirect costs from them. So there are models out there, ways to do it.
Yeah.
They just have to figure out, you know, just like an enterprise fund, what's the full cost of our doing business? And to Sean's point, what's our strategic plan on it? But maybe that's something you can also ask Regional 911 and say, hey, is there any funding out there to do this as a strategic plan? Oh, yep, that is a bug. Good call.
They shoe fly. Okay.
Who was the decision maker on the salary increases you mentioned, Peter?
Rutland. The ones I've seen, I've seen the ones for coming July and after, and I'm sick over it.
Their last contract was negotiated with the town administrator in Rutland.
Yeah, and
Because
it's,
that's how it was set up.
yeah,
Then we moved to this district model, and it is supposed to now go through
board of
the
directors.
board of directors. However, there's already this 3-year contract in place, so that contract has to play out before negotiations
Right.
go to where it should
Right,
actually.
they're already in the first year, I think, of the contract, and there's 2 more, so I think they got it figured out for when the other 6 towns come on. I mean, I see jumps in pay that are just choking me.
So to be clear, the town of Rutland is unilaterally giving pay increases to Rutland Dispatch employees until, what'd you say, another 2 years when
Well, I don't know when they
the board of
signed that
directors
contract.
gets to make
Yeah,
that
I didn't look on the sig, I just looked.
Yeah, I looked at the CBA for the dispatchers, and it was signed by the 5 members of the Rutland Board of Selectmen.
Yeah.
I questioned that. I was like, well, This is taxation without representation. In a town that actually had one of the leading members of Shays Rebellion. It doesn't line up. Like, when we pay for these things, we should pay for them either based on calls for service or population. Best would be a balance between the two. I've managed a regional dispatch in Plastow, and so when I showed up to the meeting, it just was surprising to me that, you know, this originally was set up in such a, you know, just a strange way. I get it. I think Rutland started probably inviting communities in and saying, hey, you know, let's share some of the costs. We have the infrastructure for a dispatch, but now it's getting to a point where perhaps they're feeling as though they're paying more for regional service, and their embedded costs or their sunk costs are not being appropriately balanced. And so, you know, there may be some equity issues all around that we need to understand, but certainly a better charter and a better, a few conversations, strategic conversations, I think could help sustain a regional focus on one of the most critical and evolving elements of public safety. I don't think any of us here don't want to see a regional service here, but we want to make sure it's done in a way that best meets the financial and representational needs of each community.
Fiscally responsible.
Well,
That's
yeah,
what I'm
if they're
looking
giving
for.
out 16%
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is
increase,
with that.
and I'll bet money it was already a six-figure income to begin
It
with.
was not.
No, it was pretty close though, I'll bet, right?
So is it possible the person increased hours, right? So sometimes the percentage looks crazy because they went from a 19-hour position to a 40-hour position. So
No.
there's lots of different pieces to it. But I think it's definitely worth the question of, can you explain to me why Bob?
Bob.
And then whatever.
How dare Bob?
Yeah, whatever the rest of the sentence is there. But
I'm less concerned about those individual ones, even though, you know, it's really the big picture. It's financially long-term.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've seen the recommended contracts, and I'm just amazed at the amounts that they pay these people.
So I think part of it too, you know, I think Sean has the right questions, right? What do you have for FTEs and part-time people, right? What does that look like? Can you give us a 5-year rundown going backwards? How do you figure out how do you do it forward? What research have you done with other communities and other regional dispatches that have pulled in non-similar communities, right? Because it's a lot harder to deal with the communities that have these massive populations and completely different call sets than ours. I mean, the good news is they're already adept at our configurations in our community, so we're not gonna be the ones who are disadvantaged initially until new people come on. But how are they gonna do it? Are they gonna have this corner of the room over here dedicated to the original 5? And this corner over here, this person's Auburn, this person's Oxford, et cetera, because it's such a different call volume, and that's what I think a lot of the communities are finding when they're absorbed by these large regional dispatch centers, is we're lost, right? As a small community, we're lost. No one knows, you know, about that detour when they're sending out PD and FD or, you know, mutual aid. No one's like, hey, Williamsville's closed, like, didn't you know? Because you don't have that hands-on piece. And then the small towns, they get lost. The other thing you run into is because everyone's protocols for PD and FD are different, unless you have a regionalized standardization of, you know, who gets dispatched on which call, people mess it up.
Yeah.
And then no one's happy.
That
We didn't
portion
even get
will
into
be-
those, we have those issues.
It will be the
yeah.
same?
It will be, and they're working towards making regional things. However, things that work in Rutland do not work in Hubbardston.
Agreed.
Really?
You know, my concern is really for our residents here. There is going to be some culture shock
Oh, yeah.
if this moves forward the way it is. Never mind the price, never mind any of that. The way dispatch operates is going to change, and the person that's gonna notice it is our residents. When you call dispatch, it's going to be different than the way it is right now. And I think drastically different.
Like, how, explain how?
Like when you call the business line and an AI answers it.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it's so used to getting a voice now. It's,
That's just one example, that's part of this. So, that's my concern, is the residents that, how are our residents going to interact with something like that? It doesn't mean that they can't get a person when they call 911. It's just a business line thing, but our residents call the business line for a lot of things that they may need to talk to a person.
So yeah, so if you call the 928 number for the police.
When you hit 0, it should go to the dispatcher, a live dispatcher.
Okay. But it doesn't, it goes to
It will,
AI?
no, it does now.
Oh, it does now?
It does now.
But when it
will not.
changes, it,
and I did ask about, where these numbers, and how they got their numbers for, for paying, salaries, this and that. And all their numbers are coming from other regional dispatch centers in the state. I said, well, you can't, I don't know how you can do that. We're in Central Mass. I don't know how you can do that. And I think you were even there for that when I said that.
are they pulling Boston numbers or?
Yeah, wherever the regional dispatch centers are in the state. I don't know where they are. Do you know where they're located? There's got to be one in Springfield.
There's
There's Southeast Mass.
Southeast.
There's-
So they're looking at what they make, and they plugged all these numbers into what they should, but
Look, I don't think we should, jump to too many assumptions. What I think we should do is work with them, get the numbers that we need, the actuals over the last 5 years, get a real strong sense of how they're gonna control growth and balance the financial obligations of this new district in a way that reflects the financial priorities of the members, the membership districts. They can do that. I bet there's a way for them to do that, but they're gonna have to be careful.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have to watch them and help them if they want to make this as successful as they hope
and
it can be.
meeting once a month is not cutting it for me. so.
Yeah, I think there's just some careful conversations that happen.
Yeah.
Heather's recommendation to bring in our state partners, maybe our state senators, and really figure out if the state wants to help this be financially successful, we need their help too. We need the state to really not just give us a one and done, but a long-range financial commitment that makes this really work for keeping people safe.
All right, moving right
Great.
along.
Superintendent is going to be at our next meeting.
For sure?
I'm meeting with her, yes.
Okay.
Meeting with her this week on a number of other issues. She apologizes, she had another community to be at tonight and this Friday. We are reading over at the Hubbardston Elementary School. This is Read Across America. Chief,
Yes.
you are required to be there at 9:15.
Required.
Myself and Sergeant Blood
Yeah,
will be
I
there
will
to read to the children.
books
Nice.
for you, but, I have one
When is
select
this
board
now?
member that has signed up. It's at 9:15. If you are here at 9 o'clock, I will drive you down to the school. I will have an elementary school book for you to read, and you can,
Is that you, Peter? You're gonna go read to the children?
No, I'm not.
No?
I thought it was Jeff who volunteered.
Is it Jeff? Okay, I was gonna say, Peter, don't scare them.
That's when, February 23rd? When is that?
it's March
Where the hell?
6th. Last page.
You following along?
Oh, there we are. I found-
Okay.
All right, That's
All
my report.
All right, thank you.
Sean.
Thank you, Sean. All right. All right, so that's the end of that. Let's do next meeting date that we're on. So that should be 2 weeks from now, correct?
How about matters not reasonably
Well,
anticipated by the chair?
We will get there.
Okay.
I will promise you, I will say that just for you, Chris. But yeah, so next meeting date will be,
The 16th.
what month are we?
We're in March. so
Yes, there we go,
same-
March
mostly
the
same
16th.
dates.
And you said you're sure Colleen's coming? Tentatively still?
Yeah, tentatively, she did say that she would make our next meeting, and
Okay.
I will confirm that
Okay,
tomorrow.
you're gonna confirm that. Okay, so Chris, do you have some unanticipated things?
Yeah, well, I just want to give an update about the electrical aggregation.
Oh, sweet.
That me and Francois have been working on. We had our first call a few weeks ago with Paul and Kim, the consultants, and we received 4 bids. One was from National Grid, and then 4 other suppliers. And I think the best bid we got only dropped the per kilowatt rating of like 0.7 cents per kilowatt.
Do you remember
I did
that?
some quick math on an average size home, a 1,200 square foot colonial. You're gonna be saving maybe $12 a month
Okay. So I'm locked in right now at
for a total of
12 cents.
for a total of, $120 a year.
Okay.
So that was a good, that was a starting point.
Okay.
We got some numbers there, and Francois was concerned about the volatility in the natural gas market
Okay.
at the time. So we figured we would hedge our bets, because tomorrow, which would be like 3 or 4 weeks from that first time, we're gonna sit down again and get some new numbers
Okay.
and see how they compare to the original set they sent. And, we'll have a discussion about, if the juice is even worth the squeeze, if the savings are going up, if the savings are going down, what the future of the market looks like. But to implement this for the upcoming fiscal year, we do have to make a decision tomorrow, go or no go.
Oh.
So if we don't, whatever we decide tomorrow, we'll have to wait another year to revisit this, to do it again. And I say a year because that's the shortest contract anybody would be willing to give to us. Obviously, the companies like longer contracts, so they have the stability and there's not so much risk on their end of the deal. But they do offer 18-month contracts, and that's probably something we would look into if we think it's even worth doing, I mean, if it's invisible to everybody, like they say it is, and of course anybody can opt out of it, then, $120 is $120. If there's no heavy lifting to be done, it's kind of a no-brainer, in my humble opinion. But, we're gonna discuss tomorrow, see what the bids come back with, and go from there.
And KPA, I think if I recall correctly, we've already voted and authorized you on behalf of the board to accept.
You did,
Yep.
Okay, so we're all good
Yep.
as far as that goes.
very good.
Look, Chris, I think that's a extraordinary value to the citizens, and I've worked in a number of communities where we've been able to save substantially. The U.S. Energy Agency, typically projects cost for electricity, and when you think about what's happening globally with energy and the demands, there might be some good reason to kind of lock in some
Right.
security.
Right.
Yeah,
That's it.
I mean,
You know.
Yeah, it's just, I
And
mean,
we're leveraging the consultants and their expertise to kind of direct us with that, but, having two data sets, albeit it's only 3-4 weeks apart, but if we can see a trend.
Yep.
And, the consultants will be able to identify that a lot more quicker than Francois or I can, maybe they can advise us to go. And again, it's not something where we would ever tie into something that's gonna lose us money based on National Grid's current price, but who's to say, National Grid doesn't lower their price, so.
and I mean, electricity isn't the expensive part of your bill anyways. I mean,
Right.
technically, it's your delivery charge is always more than what you.
It's all the
just-
fees, yeah.
There's
Mass
seven
save.
different charges now
Yeah.
on your bill, and you're paying for electric cars that we don't have. And
Yeah, all kinds of good stuff.
Yeah.
It's what it is, but any savings is a savings as far as I'm concerned, but I don't know if I would,
If it's,
0.7 is
if
kind
it's
of
no
low. but-
cost to us and invisible to all our constituents, then,
Right.
I say go for it.
Right.
And again, anybody can opt out at any time they want. If they choose not to do it, they just gotta let us know, and they can
I
pay
think that's the
whatever
best
rate
thing.
that comes.
This doesn't lock anybody in. You
Right.
don't want to be part of it, you don't have to.
Right.
You
Yeah.
have options.
Yeah, because eventually it's supposed to change with the state where you can't do a third-party service like I do. So the only way to do it is have the town do it for you. You know, it's, which I think is
I think-
majorly unfair, but yeah.
I think
I
another
don't
year you're
understand
gonna see
how you can regulate
prices come
everything.
down anyways.
Oh, hopefully. It's, well, it's all
Well,
the
things
mass
are a lot
save and
different today
everything.
than they were a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Then
all
they were
the
what,
fees.
3 days ago, right?
That's right.
Ugh.
A lot different.
Yeah. Well, it's just only a temporary setback. We'll be all right in a year and a
We'll
half.
see.
Do we have any other unexpected matters? No? All right, so then, anyone want to make a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So next meeting is, what is it now?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. The
The
7th,
day after
16th.
St. Patrick's Day.
No,
As
day
long as-
before.
You're gonna be all right?
Before.
Day before, okay.
Yeah, St. Patrick's Day's on a Tuesday.
So, okay, that's.
You're,
But we can't leave until someone seconds. the
so-
motion.
somebody's got to second this stuff.
Second.
Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Yes.
Aye. All right, motion to adjourn was accepted. 7:49, we're